Okay, so if ever something officially happened that made me decide that I have officially crossed over into being old, here it is. And here's what just happened. And those who knew me when I was younger, played a lot of sports, and I was a jumper. I could jump really high for a 6-foot white dude anyway. Could dunk, all that good stuff. So just now, I'm here in the garage of this foundation and needed to head over to those units. So I jumped up here to walk over, except I didn't make it. My right toe caught the lip and I came crashing down onto my shin, busted my shin up. I have done 17 million box jumps in my life, never caught the shin on the way down. I have played a bunch of basketball. Jumping was my deal. It's over. And this is gonna be a day of mourning for me. My name is Brian Bandas. I'm building a real estate development company. I'm becoming a better father, a better husband, a better entrepreneur, and a better man every single day. Let's get it. All right, y'all, I want to document the good, bad, and the ugly. Got our frame going up here. And the first floor is 9 feet, and they just framed the entire first floor at 8 feet. What do you do in that scenario? This is why I say professional problem solver, because that's all it is. We came out the very first time we pulled our measuring tape, it was immediately the whole building is wrong. Can you handle constant problems? The more resilient you can be in the face of consistent problems, the more responsibility you can take on and the more value you will receive back from the world. I think one of the hardest parts of being an entrepreneur, this isn't every day for me at all, but like some of those days you just wake up and there's just like that overwhelm, that sort of feeling of dread. And today was like that. I woke up and just like the number of things that we need to do just kind of hit me. And I just had this like dread that it was like, we're not gonna finish any of this and we're screwed and my investor partners are screwed and it's just like, nothing's gonna work. But that just isn't true. And I get out here and I realize like one tiny little step at a time. So we got our garages sealed here, the concrete sealed. We got our waterproofing, all the black here. We've been wrestling with that because of rain. It got ruined like 2 or 3 times. But I'm out here and that's done. Both of those are done. Now we got a bunch of foam insulation board right there that we're gonna put down next to the foundation. And like, I keep saying this, but none of it is glamorous. And yet all of these little single steps add up to what will be the best year business-wise of my life so far, and will continue to build the foundation for a really powerful, cool, fun company. My response to the dread is that, number one, those big sweeping negative ideas are just not true. It's just not true that we're never gonna finish this. What I said to my superintendent today was like, okay, it's actually, we're not gonna still be building the same buildings in 7 years, right? So it's not true that they're never gonna be done. It's just a slow process. And I got to commit to it one step at a time. And I get out here and I'm reminded, hey, these are steps that we wrestled with. And at one point it felt like, when the heck are we ever going to get these done? And now they're done. And now we're on to the next one. Just one day at a time. If you're an entrepreneur and you feel that dread sometimes, man, I feel you. It is painful. It's real. But those things in your head, you're screwed, nothing's going to work, all that, it's lies. It's nonsense. Don't listen to it. It's crap. So kick it out. Throw me one of those, one of those, and one of those. Let's grow together. So we framed the whole first floor a foot short. They're fixing it, so that's correct. That's the old one. Reframing the new one. Then they'll move over and do this one, wherever that is. So here's what I kind of realized. I'm back home now. Here's what I kind of realized about the dread. This is the question I want you to ask yourself, to my fellow business builders who run into that feeling. Is this fear, is this dread based on an actual problem, or is it based on something that is more imagination based and born out of your fear? So what I mean is, what I realized is like a lot of the overwhelm and the dread that I was wrestling with was not real problems, and I've had those, but it was more like imagined thoughts of that were basically some version of, man, wouldn't it suck if fill in the blank? Wouldn't it suck if we're still working on this same house in 2.5 years and I'm broke? Well, yeah, that would suck. Do I have any actual real reason to like be worried about that? No. Has that ever happened on any of my other projects? No. Wouldn't it suck if we blew up this budget by $150,000 and I had to pay, $50,000 to close instead of making money? Yeah. Yes, that would suck. Again, is that an actual problem? Is there any indication that's going to happen? Or is this just a fear-based, imagined thing? And what I realize is, oh man, I don't seem to tend to imagine the positive. Like I don't go, man, I'll tell you what, it seems like what might happen is we actually may sell it for like 50,000 more than we anticipated and make more than we thought. Somehow that never makes it in, only these like weird imagined worst case scenarios. And then I end up treating them as if they are real concerns. Now I have real problems to solve, like framing the whole first floor a foot too short. That's a real problem. That's not imagined. And now I have to solve it. But all of these things that could happen in the future that might suck, that are really only based on my fear that they would happen. What a waste of energy, right? Do you find yourself like wasting energy on things that are not real problems? They're just things that you can imagine them happening. And yeah, if they happened, they would be a problem, but they're not. How much energy do I freaking waste on that nonsense? So the question that I encourage you to ask yourself is this something I'm imagining that would suck but isn't real? Or is this an actual problem? If it's an actual problem, then go into professional problem solver mode and go solve that thing and deal with it. And if it's not, quit wasting mental energy imagining bad things that could happen but aren't happening. Feel me? Feel that. Another day with a big old pile of dirt.